Few people have had as much of an impact on philosophy and leadership as the Roman Emperor and ardent Stoic Marcus Aurelius. His life served as a living example of resilience and self-control. We'll examine his theories in detail today, as well as the methods he taught and exemplified self-control throughout his life. We'll also look at practical applications for his lessons on developing self-control in today's world. If you're new here, kindly subscribe to the channel and like the video. Just 3% of my audience is channel subscribers, according to statistics, so if this material has benefited you in any way, please consider subscribing and pressing the notification bell. The philosophy of a school of philosophy that originated in ancient Greece and flourished under the Roman Empire is the foundation of Stoicism. Though early Stoic thinkers like Epicurus and Zeno of Citium made major contributions to the field's understanding, Marcus Aurelius' writings and teachings brought it tremendous fame. Stoicism is a philosophy that promotes and teaches self-control, morality, and resilience. It offers a framework and a method for dealing with life's obstacles, controlling one's emotions, and finding serenity in the midst of chaos outside. A route toward a more fulfilling and significant life is Stoicism. Its teachings provide us the chance to change not only how we see the world, but also who we are on the inside. As we continue with this practice, we start to feel more attuned to our environment, and as a result, achieve a balance between the outside world and our inner tranquility. Chapter 1. The maximum level of compliance with Stoic thought. When the Roman Empire was hit by the deadly Antonine Plague in 165 AD, which devastated the country and took many lives, it was the height of commitment to Stoic philosophy. The Roman Empire went through one of the worst depressions in history as a result of the terror and instability this caused. Emperor Marcus Aurelius showed remarkable leadership skills during this crisis by fusing the deep principles of Stoic philosophy with his unwavering resolve. He led his people through the difficulties of the pandemic with bravery, optimism, and stability thanks to his Stoic outlook. The Roman Empire was hit by the Antonine Plague, which is thought to have been an unprecedented epidemic of smallpox or measles. The sickness spread quickly, bringing down the social and economic structure of the empire and instilling dread in its people as a result of the chaos and destruction the pandemic inflicted. Assumed with the mantle of command, Aurelius saw how much this turbulent period needed a leader. Stoicism, which stresses the acceptance of life's trials and the preservation of virtue in the face of misfortune, became Aurelius's guiding concept. Aurelius turned to Stoic philosophy to seek insight and inner strength for the struggle he faced. Inspired by renowned Stoic thinkers such as Epicurus and Seneca, who argued that virtue alone is enough to provide pleasure, he discovered that genuine strength and happiness come from inside, independent of external circumstances. Aurelius encouraged resilience by acknowledging the reality of the pandemic and not being overcome by fear. Rather, he concentrated on what he could control, his own disposition and handling of the situation. Marcus Aurelius set an exemplary example by living according to the Stoic principles he adopted, displaying unyielding courage and strength, and remaining steadfast in the face of great adversity and personal sorrow. He continuously looked out for the needs of his people, showing empathy and compassion in the process, even when doing so put his own health at jeopardy. He urged his followers to maintain their resolve and discover inner serenity. He had a strong foundation to find meaning and purpose in the midst of turmoil thanks to Stoicism. He saw that the pandemic presented a chance for individual development and group perseverance. The crisis was a helpful reminder of life's fleeting nature and the need of leading a moral life. Aurelius encouraged his followers to live in the present, value morality over worldly possessions, and practice thankfulness even in the face of adversity. The Roman Empire benefited from his application of Stoic philosophy, notwithstanding the immense suffering caused by the Antonine Plague. His tenacity and leadership cleared the path for the empire's ultimate recuperation and restoration. Aurelius's demonstration of the tenets of Stoicism still have resonance today, serving as a reminder of the resilience of the human spirit and our capacity to rediscover inner serenity even in the face of the most difficult adversities. The worst period for the Roman Empire occurred during the Antonine Plague, Marcus Aurelius resorted to the ageless wisdom of Stoic philosophy when faced with this terrifying task. He gave his people the strength, fortitude, and insight they needed to withstand the storm and start again. The Stoic way of thinking is a light of hope, showing us that even in the most hopeless circumstances, people can overcome hardship, hold on to hope, and come out on top. The tenets of Stoicism have stood the test of time and still provide wise counsel to anyone looking for a way to deal with life's challenges. It emphasizes qualities like self-control, resilience, and other virtues that provide useful skills for dealing with hardships on a daily basis and finding purpose in a world that is changing and becoming more complicated. We will take into account some fundamental ideas that will function as a framework for assessing both our own lives and the teachings of well-known Stoic thinkers. They will help us come up with useful applications for the Stoic idea. Through a knowledge of Stoic philosophy, we may begin on a transforming path towards self-discovery, master inner serenity, and live a complete and satisfied life. Chapter 2. Marcus Aurelius. Great leaders frequently face the most difficult obstacles. Prolific rulers often encounter the most difficult challenges throughout their reigns, and Marcus Aurelius was no exception as the Roman emperor. His rule was distinguished by a plethora of hard obstacles and failures that challenged his strength and commitment. In his capacity as Rome's ruler, Aurelius faced many difficult decisions that required his whole focus and astute strategic judgment. A number of challenges, including political unrest, military conflicts, and economic upheavals, threatened the stability and prosperity of the Roman Empire. He nonetheless faced these challenges with unyielding resolve and a strong dedication to his people and their welfare. Aurelius showed unmatched fortitude in the face of adversity throughout his rule. He understood that being a leader requires tenacity during trying times. He never wavered in his quest for answers that would ensure the security of the empire, even in the face of internal strife or military setbacks. Whether confronted with internal strife or military setbacks, he understood that leadership requires tenacity in trying times. Thus, he never wavered in his quest for answers that would ensure the security of the empire. His resilience in the face of adversity and unwavering resolve came to define his leadership style. In addition, his adherence to Stoicism and other intellectual beliefs gave him crucial direction during difficult times. He learned from Stoicism to see setbacks as chances for improvement and to uphold moral principles in the face of hardship. Aurelius was able to integrate Stoic ideas into his leadership style by emphasizing the development of inner strength and accepting situations over which one has control. This enabled him to face setbacks with a Stoic perspective, promote resilience, and motivate people around him. He remained committed to ensuring the well-being of his people in spite of the significant challenges he encountered. Throughout his rule, his dedication to the pursuit of justice and sound government served as a compass. In an effort to better serve his citizens' concerns, he aggressively pursued changes that would enhance living standards and advance the empire's overall well-being. Marcus's personal life served as a clear example of his capacity for self-control and humility in the face of the fleeting nature of worldly wealth and influence. His introspection and meditations, marked by constant growth in the quest for knowledge, were important aspects of his private life, even as emperor. He was also a guy of perfect character, which had a major role in directing his actions and choices. Aurelius became a powerful and wise leader who left behind an enduring legacy of kindness and fortitude. Chapter 3. Modern World Application of Stoic Principles. Marcus Aurelius' demonstration of Stoic ideas is still being explored in the current world. Some of these same ideas still apply today to help us develop self-discipline. Self-evaluation and consistency maintenance are effective strategies for practicing self-discipline. In order to consider our values and life purpose and determine if our behaviors are in line with them, we might, like Marcus Aurelius, engage in a morning routine of introspection and self-examination. Regular exercise as physical discipline improves our mental fortitude in addition to our bodily well-being. Marcus emphasized the need of preserving both since he understood the close relationship between the mind and body. Another effective method for developing self-discipline is mindfulness. We may improve our ability to regulate our emotions and make thoughtful judgments by teaching ourselves to live in the present moment. This brings you to the halfway point of the video. I applaud you for attempting to improve yourself, and I really request that you post a remark since it greatly benefits my channel. To let me know you made it this far, simply type 257 if you are at a loss for words. We are encouraged by Stoicism to develop an attitude of calmness and thankfulness. Marcus Aurelius thought that resilience and inner strength may be fostered by appreciating life's marvels and beauty despite its challenges. We may grow in our ability to remain steady of character by consistently practicing thankfulness and keeping a broad view. Lastly, a key component of Stoic philosophy is the importance of connection and community. Marcus was a strong believer in the benefits of teamwork and helping others develop self-control. Chapter 4. A critical analysis of application. To critically analyze the Stoic concept of self-discipline in the modern world, one must use the ideals of Marcus Aurelius. The focus on mental control should be taken into account initially. True power, according to Marcus Aurelius, is in our capacity to manage our own minds and deliberately choose the ideas we think, as described in his Meditations books, which examine how our thoughts directly impact our lives and the significance of doing so. He asserts that our ideas influence our feelings, behaviors, and perceptions. He understood that thinking unfavorable or detrimental ideas might cause sorrow and make it more difficult for us to have fulfilling lives. As a result, he promoted self-awareness and mindfulness practices, urging individuals to recognize their mental patterns and actively confront unfavorable attitudes. Maintaining mental control demands self-control and ongoing awareness. It entails challenging the veracity of our beliefs, rewriting unfavorable stories, and selecting viewpoints that are more powerful. We may live more fulfilling lives and align our ideas with Stoic ideals by developing an internal dialogue based on reason and virtue. Keeping a diary was one of Marcus Aurelius' useful strategies. He studied his feelings and ideas every day to comprehend their causes and effects via introspection and reflection. Through this exercise, he was able to see patterns in his thinking and consciously change them to promote more positive ideas. Aurelius argued that we may become resilient in the face of hardship by learning to control our thoughts. He understood that while we have no control over external circumstances, we do have the ability to decide how we would react. Regardless of the situation, we may develop an inner strength and serenity by intentionally focusing our thoughts on virtue, acceptance, and thankfulness. The discipline of mind control is still useful and important in today's environment. To improve our resilience, well-being, and capacity to handle life's problems with poise, we need to practice being conscious of our thinking patterns, conquering negative ideas, and cultivating positive perspectives. Second, Stoic philosophy stresses the value of accepting the things in life that are beyond of our control and concentrating on the things we can control, such as our attitudes and behaviors. Stoics believe that dwelling on situations that are beyond our control causes needless anxiety and annoyance. Rather, they support focusing our efforts on the areas we can control, our decisions, actions, and attitudes. We can adjust more resiliently and keep our inner calm when we realize that change and uncertainty are inevitable. An examination of the Stoic concept critically reveals that our greatest power is found in our area of influence. We need to deliberately choose behaviors that are consistent with our value system and concentrate on what is within our grasp. Thirdly, Marcus thought it was essential to have plans and objectives consistent with our moral principles. The secret to developing self-discipline is having a strong sense of purpose, vision, and objectives in life. We provide a strong foundation for our choices and actions by acknowledging our values and making sure they are consistent with our objectives. Establishing goals that are based on our beliefs gives us a sense of purpose and serves as a compass for navigating the obstacles we face in life. It gives us the ability to make choices consistent with who we really are, which promotes integrity and a feeling of fulfillment in our work. We may focus our efforts and activities on self-discipline and personal development by defining our purpose and setting relevant objectives. Chapter 5. Building hardiness in line with Marcus Aurelius. A crucial component of developing self-discipline is exercising self-control. He believed that developing inner strength and accomplishing personal progress need us to exercise control over our impulses, wants, and emotions. We may learn to defer pleasure, withstand temptation, and make deliberate choices that are consistent with our beliefs and long-term objectives by engaging in self-control exercises. Marcus Aurelius recognized that exercising self-control is about making conscious choices that result in increased satisfaction and long-term personal growth, rather than depriving oneself of pleasure. By practicing self-control, we strengthen our resolve and deepen our commitment to our self-disciplined path. As Marcus highlights, building resilience is in fact a keystone of Stoic philosophy. Stoicism encourages us to welcome life's unavoidable obstacles and disappointments and see them as chances for development and education. In this context, resilience is the capacity to remain internally strong and stable in the face of difficulties and setbacks. Marcus claims that cultivating resilience requires adopting an outlook that acknowledges life's impermanence and unpredictable nature. Stoics recognize that while we have no influence over our environment, we do have power over how we react to things within. We develop inner strength that helps us to withstand change and uncertainty in the world, with poise and fortitude when we embrace these things. In Stoicism, resilience also entails reinterpreting disappointments and setbacks as necessary stages toward one's own growth. Stoics consider challenges as chances to develop qualities like patience, persistence, and bravery rather than as barriers to be overcome. Accepting obstacles as an essential part of the path helps us build the resilience needed to deal with life's ups and downs. By concentrating our efforts on things we can influence, we may shift our energies and adopt a more optimistic outlook. By refusing to let outside circumstances control our mental state, we develop resilience. Even when faced with hardship, resilience helps us to hold on to our feeling of inner stability and serenity. According to Stoic philosophy, developing resilience entails embracing life's flaws, reinterpreting failures as chances for development, and concentrating on the things we can manage. Let's look at 3 important takeaways from Meditations, the great work by Marcus Aurelius, which may help us develop self-discipline and recognize its significance for living a moral and satisfying life. Lesson 1. The present moment's power. Marcus Aurelius said, "Do not disturb yourself by imagining your whole life as a whole." In his Meditations, don't compile a mental inventory of all the different kinds of challenges you have faced and may face in the future. Instead, consider each current challenge and ask yourself, what is there about this that is intolerable and beyond endurance? The spirit of living in the now is captured in this statement. Frequently, we are overcome with regrets about the past or fears about the future, which makes it difficult for us to practice self-control. Aurelius emphasizes to us the value of living in the present moment. By doing this, we may exercise control and discipline in our current actions and break down apparently enormous situations into manageable pits. The core of self-discipline is present moment awareness, which enables us to behave morally and meaningfully without feeling burdened. Lesson 2. Separation from outside validation. Marcus Aurelius understood very well how fleeting fame and other people's perceptions may be. He often wrote, "I have often wondered how it is that every man loves himself more than all the other men, but still values his own opinion of himself less than the opinions of others." This insight emphasizes how we often compromise our own morals and integrity in order to get acceptance and praise from others. As Aurelius says, self-discipline necessitates distancing oneself from this outside affirmation. Rather, we need to concentrate on developing our moral compass and internal values. Rather than letting the shifting views of others dictate our choices and activities, this inward-directed strategy helps us make judgments and conduct actions that are consistent with our beliefs. This aids in the development of a strong foundation of self-control based on integrity and respect for oneself. Lesson 3. Flexibility and recognition. The obstacle to action propels action forward is of the most well-known quotations from Meditations. What obstructs the path eventually becomes it. This expression represents 2 qualities that are intimately associated with self-discipline: acceptance and flexibility. Marcus Aurelius shows us that difficulties and setbacks should not only be overcome, but also converted into chances for development and education. The capacity to modify our behavior and mindset in reaction to the difficulties we encounter is a necessary component of self-discipline. Rather than stifling or moaning about challenges, we should welcome them as chances to practice virtue, gain knowledge, and develop. This way of thinking promotes resilience and a profound feeling of happiness, in addition to helping to develop self-discipline. Developing self-control in our contemporary lives. The meditations of Marcus Aurelius provide a wealth of knowledge for developing self-control. We may develop a kind of self-discipline that is firmly anchored in knowledge and morality by practicing mindfulness, letting go of the need for outside approval, and accepting flexibility and acceptance. This self-discipline is about living a life with meaning, purpose, and satisfaction independent of the outside world. It is not only about control. We may develop self-discipline in our contemporary life by adhering to the core tenets of Stoicism, which are self-mastery, acceptance, and resilience. Marcus Aurelius held the view that mastery over our ideas and emotions is the first step towards self-mastery. We are able to control our reactions to outside events and preserve our calm and clarity by continuously monitoring and directing our inner world. Another essential component in developing self-discipline is acceptance. Aurelius advocated for developing resilience, which is fostered by reinterpreting setbacks as chances for development. By seeing challenges as milestones on our path, we may cultivate the fortitude and tenacity required to meet hardship head-on. Keeping one's inner equilibrium and serenity, even in the face of adversity or chaos, is another aspect of resilience. Aurelius offers us a number of useful techniques that we may use to our daily lives, including as creating routines that are regular, exercising physical discipline and awareness, expressing appreciation, and building supportive communities. Everyone aids in our development and progress. In the end, adhering to Marcus Aurelius's teachings may lead to a more orderly and fulfilling existence. We may acquire the resilience and courage to face life's obstacles head-on with self-control. The figure of Marcus Aurelius emerges, casting a long, enduring shadow as we stand at the nexus of philosophy and history. The significance of self-discipline becomes a beacon, a guiding light that may help us navigate through the storm in a world that is often chaotic and always changing. From the perspective of Aurelius and his classical teachings, self-control is an art form rather than just a characteristic. It is the sails that carry us ahead, the anchor that keeps us steady in the face of storms, and the compass that helps us navigate the waters of life. Self-control allows us to become masters of our own lives, which leads to a greater awareness of and dedication to the world around us. Marcus Aurelius's life and ideas provide evidence of the transformational potential of self-control. We need self-discipline now more than ever in this connected world of endless information and diversions. We can cut through the clutter and concentrate on the things that really matter when we practice self-discipline. Being disciplined allows us to behave with reason and wisdom instead of impulsively, being loyal to our ideals and values. The fact that Marcus Aurelius, an emperor who lived over 2 millennia ago, was able to deal with many of the same difficulties and inner conflicts that we do now is especially remarkable. This reveals a crucial truth. The essence of the human experience is unchangeable. The wisdom of Marcus Aurelius finds its timeless resonance on the common thread that is made up of our worries, ambitions, challenges, and longings over the passage of time. Unprecedented possibilities are there in our day and age, yet these opportunities also bring obligations and obstacles. Marcus Aurelius's Stoic philosophy gives us the mental toughness to rise to these difficulties and see them as opportunities for personal development rather than as obstacles. Let's consider the scope of our potential as we get to the end of our voyage. Everybody may be a philosopher, a truth seeker, and a wisdom bearer in their own special manner. May we be reminded of the unbreakable spirit that every one of us has by the words of Marcus Aurelius. As we go ahead on our own journeys, may his stoic fortitude serve as an inspiration for us to strengthen our reserve of self-control. Let us keep in mind that exercising self-control is a means, not a goal, to living a life filled with integrity, satisfaction, and purpose. Recall that we are both the writer and the protagonist in the great drama of reality. We may create odes to joy, poems of perseverance, and epics of victory amid the great records of history by exercising self-discipline.